Alright, what's up? Hey guys, this is Love is Dead, and coming to you with another Dota Noobs. Sort of like Casted Replay, we're going to be looking at Zap here, seeing how he's going to be playing on this Bane. Why don't you introduce yourself, Zap?
Hey, this is Zap.
And I have a little bit of coffee. Anyways, so you're going to take Bane into the mid lane, which is a usual role for him. And you're going to be coupled with, you have yourself, you got Disruptor, you got a Shadow Demon, you got a Sand King, and a Beastmaster. So you guys are, off the bat, you guys are definitely a big ganking team, really not much of a carry team, and it looks like you guys are trying to run the tri-lane on bot. Yeah, it looks like that's what it's going to be.
That was a plan, yeah.
Yeah. Tri-lanes are a tricky thing. They've become a lot popular lately, but they are extremely difficult to coordinate. It takes a lot of practice, so it's good that everyone's practicing. It's tri-lane versus tri-lane down there? Alright, well, we're probably going to ignore a lot of that. But so you decided to go with Nightmare first. You're going to be up Viper. So first things first, Viper is really difficult to face in lane. Because he just has so much power to harass. He can tank. You can't really right click him because of his nether toxin. Is that what it's called? No, corrosive skin. Yeah, first blood down there. And he's just a very strong mid lane. Hard to face, especially with Bane. So it's good that you're backing off and not taking too much damage early on, because he would definitely win level 1. But you decided to skill Nightmare first, which is actually probably, as we talked about just a minute ago, it's probably not the best skill. It's basically just a sleep. Usually you want to pick, I mean, most of the time I usually like to get my nuke, which in your case is Brain Sap, which is very powerful in lane. And as you can see, you just steal some health. But his poison attack is just really irritating.
Yeah, there's a few times where he, I guess we'll see where he gets extremely close to killing me. It's very scary.
Or pause here, I guess we can talk about, what does he have? He is, he's got his poison attack, he's got nether toxin, so he's probably not going to skill his corrosive skin, but he's going to be using his poison attack whenever possible. So you're doing a good job of you're staying on the high ground, which is something that I usually screw up and try to get aggressive. But most of the time you're staying on the high ground away from his range, and he's been staying on the high ground as well, so not too bad there.
Yeah, pretty much at this point, like, I'm just trying to pretty much deny him as best I can, because I feel like I can't really harass him very well.
You're right, yeah,
But
you're not going to be able...
doing a great job denying him either.
That's fine. It takes a lot of skill to be able to get that up. But so your build early on, you've gotten some sentries, which is good. Well, I guess you probably could have had a support get the sentries, but that's alright. Did they pull you anything, or did you just buy all of that?
Well, I actually thought I was going off to begin with.
Oh, okay.
So that is why I grabbed the sentry as well.
So I would have gone for like a fast bottle here, like just get, a salve, tango, 3 GG branches, and then wait for your bottle.
Okay.
Or possibly a clarity if you felt like you were going to be using it. But the bottle in mid lane, especially with any mana dependent hero, is really strong. Viper doesn't need one because he's not mana dependent at all. He can just stay in the lane and soak up all the experience. But definitely for Bane or any hero that's going to be reliant on mana, the bottle is really strong. Yeah, so it's just a bit of a farming game here. You're doing good with your positioning. The creep wave is kind of stuck in the middle. That's alright. You can try to pull it. I guess you've been trying to pull it back with denying. But yeah, Bane is not going to be having it. Bane just not going to have an easy time in this lineup. So
yeah, I felt like I really couldn't get very many last hits, nor very many denies. Viper just felt like he was a beast.
Yeah, I mean, what you could do is it's difficult just because Viper, you don't want to get in range of him, and he's 575 range, and oh, Bane is 400 range. Okay, yeah, so you're pretty much screwed. You can't even harass him because as soon as you are in range of him before he is in range of you. So that means that he's going to be able to hit you first. So even if he tries to like go in for some last hits and you want to harass him that way, you won't be able to do it. Usually you have that advantage on ranged heroes. Like if you have like a 600 range and someone's melee or shorter, or sorry, not shorter, but short range. Anytime they go in for a last hit, you can just kind of pummel them. But actually, you're keeping them low, which is good. You could use Enfeeble. I guess is not going to do. It'll reduce the damage that he's going to do to you, sort of, but his poison attack is just going to be irritating. So Nightmare is probably a good idea to go. You can use that to sort of hold him off while you get less hits. So he like comes in, you Nightmare him, and then you get a couple last hits. And it does deal a little bit of damage too.
So, the thing I'm noticing, and this is maybe what I'm doing, is that I have a ton of money at this point. I remember that you said like a bottle would be a good purchase. Is that usually like a good mid item in general?
It's one of my favorite mid items. There are very, very, very few heroes that I don't build a bottle on in mid.
Okay.
It depends on your situation. There are plenty of situations where you don't have to build a bottle, but it's a really strong item, especially on like some of the best mid laners like TA or Night Stalker or just anyone that needs mana. Bane. Yeah, Bane. So he's trying to harass you now. So he's kind of.
Pretty sure he almost gets me, I think.
Yeah, he has level 6. So he's probably going to get you here. No, actually you're able to skip away. So now you know he's level 6, so you have to be more careful. Not saying that you weren't careful, but now that you know, you have to be a bit more careful. You are now level 6 as well. So if you can get your mana up, let's see, it's 100 damage for 5, so it's 500 damage you have with your ultimate, plus Brain Sap, which is 230. That's what, 730. His health is 682.
So I guess I could conceivably kill him.
If you have enough mana and you get the right positioning, you could make a kill on him. Probably the best thing to do would be if you could try to get a couple right clicks on him first to sort of ensure that he's not at full health when you start. That would be good. But I think you could make a kill if you saved up all your mana for it. You're going to be using the whole thing up, so.
And that's one thing I learned very quickly with Bane is that mana is very mana intensive.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, your ganking situation is kind of interesting because you guys have stuck with this tri-lane on bottom now here for the 7 minutes. I mean, typically Bane, since you're having such a hard time in lane and you're really probably not going to kill Viper. I'm sorry, one thing I also wanted to note was that you want to kill Viper, you want to start your ultimate on Viper when all of his creeps are dead, so that your creeps start hitting him while he's in the Nightmare, the Fiend's Grip, and he just takes extra damage from that, rather than something like maybe if all of yours are dead, then all the creep wave starts coming and hitting you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. I didn't think about that.
It's a little tricky to get, and probably it's pretty tricky to get, especially when you can't clear a creep wave with a nuke. But if you can do it so that creeps will potentially be hitting him, that would be a good idea. But anyways, your ganking situation is interesting because you guys are stuck with this tri-lane on bot, and tri-lane versus tri-lane, you could go in. It would be a gigantic fight. I mean, it would be 4 on 3. You could probably win it, but it's not completely necessary that you go ganking when you have a tri-lane because they are supposed to be making the kills. But I don't think they are. Anyways, you're going to the top lane, which you do need to help out Uno. Yeah, Beastmaster. He's kind of in trouble right now, and you need to use a Fiend. Nope, you use Nightmare first, which, okay, now you use Fiend's Grip. There you go. That was a good play. That was a good play using Nightmare first, so you were able to hold off one of them and then disable the next. So it's basically 2 heroes that are gone.
So one thing as well is that I guess his Nightmare is not a good skill to initiate with.
Actually, it's fine if it just takes out a hero.
Yeah. Okay.
So in that situation, you turned a 2v2 into a 2 versus nothing, because Nightmare took out Darkseer, and then your Fiend's Grip took out Spectre. That's why he's such a good ganker.
Yeah, I find I really like Bane, but I feel like doesn't. I guess he can disable, but he doesn't have a lot of like AOE or shouldn't have any AOE.
No, he is. There are some heroes that are AOE, designed for AOE, like Tidehunter over here, and there's some heroes that are single target, like Bane or Templar Assassin. And that's what you got to keep in mind when you're building your team and when you're playing, is that what you're going to be able to focus on, how many you're going to be able to focus on.
So like right now, I'm feeling from that last kill, and I'm feeling like I'm getting a pretty good handle on Bane. So I think I get a little overconfident here.
Yeah, you're a little close. You're probably back off right now because he's level 8. You're level well, you're level 8, but he's Viper. Yeah, and he can just deal massive damage very quickly.
Yeah, so that was my first time that Viper just destroyed me in this one.
Viper is also a single target hero, but he's a carry, and you're a ganker. So, I mean, there are ways in which you can kill him, but sort of man-moding it like that definitely wasn't gonna work out. But that's all right.
Is his first skill, the Enfeeble, is that really worth getting? I don't know. It didn't seem really terribly useful to me. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's not the best. I mean, it's you could get it. It's gonna. I mean, reducing 120 damage, physical damage, especially on someone like Viper. I mean, that's 120 damage for 20 seconds. So he basically can't do anything for 20 seconds. So what's his damage right now? His damage is 88 plus 6, so that's 94. And so that would essentially make him useless, except for the only thing that would be dealing damage was his poison attack. So actually, yeah, it is a good spell to have. It's not really a one. I guess I don't know if it's going to help you win a 1v1 engagement, but Bane isn't really sort of a 1v1. He's single target with like a group of people. So, I mean, if you look at what you have here, you got Shadow Demon. He can take out someone with Disruption. Disruptor can hold people together. It doesn't synergize exactly that well, but he has a good silence, good way to hold them together. I mean, you guys got a team fight. Almost immediately you can take out 3 people at once. Just hold them off with Disruption, Brain Sap. I mean, not Brain Sap, Nightmare, and then Fiend's Grip. So that's 3 heroes that are just sort of disabled for a little while you can set up whatever you need. Plus, then you have the Roar and so that amount of time could set up like could potentially set up your epicenter. Oh my! But I don't think. Yeah, you don't even have epicenter yet because of the tri-lane. Yeah, but I haven't really been checking the whole game, so now I don't really know exactly how things are going. Looks like you're going to go onto Viper here. You're going to use Roar. Yeah, there you go. You're going to use Roar. You have Fiend's Grip on Sneaky Mouse over here. He's going to try to TP out. And he's able to get out, but I think Sneaky Mouse may die. So you have Enfeeble on him, so he's dealing -30. So he's only dealing 35 damage with each right click.
Alright.
Is this going to end him? There we go. That ends him. So it's an alright engagement. You probably could have coordinated a little bit better and used Fiend's Grip on Viper to take him out and then focus on Spectre. But you got Spectre anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah, so why would that be? Because I always, I guess, thought that Spectre was like a pretty heavy late game hero, and that's why I kind of went for her for the more damaging spell, because I was kind of more worried about her end game.
Well, that's more of like a overall strategy. Like you overall don't want to get her to late game. But in that engagement, it was a little more risky to hit her since she was further back. Like she really should not have come in there. I don't know. He should just like, Viper's dead. Let me get out of here. But if If you can get Spectre, you can, but in that situation, you weren't exactly do you know what I'm trying to say? You weren't like the team fight didn't go that way.
Yeah, we didn't have a very good coordination on that. I agree.
So it's more. You're right that you should take out Spectre when you can, but if the situation doesn't allow for it, you just go for the one that's right in front of you. Let's see what's your build like here. So you're going for the Force Staff. How come did you want Force Staff to just put for your own positioning?
Let me go back to my player selections real quick. My guess would be most likely because it was probably one of the cheaper items, and I didn't really know what would be my guess.
Mm-hmm. So another one that I kind of forgot about, another good item for, I always forget about this item, but early game, a lot of people build a Soul Ring on Bane to give him the mana that he needs, sort of like burst mana regen.
Oh, and then he can choose what's that to get that health back. That makes sense.
Yeah, this looks like not a great engagement for you guys. You guys are you're kind of caught out, perhaps. There you go. You're gonna get a kill on Darkseer, which is good. You kind of catch him off on the backside. Kinetic Field misses. And he gets glimpsed back. So that actually turned out pretty well. I am kind of surprised. I thought that I guess they just weren't able to finish off the kill. Darkseer getting picked off by you was actually quite a big deal for them.
Yeah, so it seems like this game's going pretty well for us for the most part, but then there's, I can't remember exactly the minutes, but there's a point where it just dies.
Well, think about why that might happen. Like, take a look at your heroes and think about what.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I was worried about Spectre because of the late game, and I believe Viper falls into that category as well.
Oh, he falls into that category. Well, he's a mid-game carry.
Mid-game, okay. And so, I mean, I don't know if we just weren't aggressive enough, and it just got too late, and then we just kind of can't pick up any snack, or what, but I mean, we'll see when we get there.
The thing is that none of your heroes scale. So at this point in the match, at about between 10 and 25 minutes, you guys are extremely powerful and you basically need to win in 30 minutes with your setup, because you don't have any heroes that deal right-click damage, and they don't really build items that scale. So you're reliant on the burst damage that you guys can output. Whereas Spectre has, if you look at Spectre's abilities, just has really nothing to deal burst damage. You have Spectral Dagger, which deals like 200 damage at level 4. Everything else about Spectre. Desolate, getting more damage when someone's alone. You have Haunt, which just replicates you to make 5 of you, and Dispersion. When enemies hit her, they let's see, damage is reflected. So everything about Spectre is about getting her to attack faster, more often, and just deal more damage. But if you look at heroes like, you got Shadow Demon, who really doesn't have any form of damage later on. He's just he has the Demonic Purge, which slows someone and purges them. Disruption, which is really good early game. Bane, a bunch of burst damage and sort of single target. Sand King, who has the Epicenter, which is big burst damage, and Burrow Strike, which is really good for a stun early game. But nothing that's going to really scale as much as like Viper or Spectre.
So it was almost kind of inevitable. It seems like that if we just go to him, there's really not much we can do.
Basically, yeah. Your lineup is such that you need to end the game earlier, because there's not much you can do later on. But then it's just about sort of team fight coordination and pushing down towers while they have to farm. Let's see. They have Spectre with nothing. Viper, he built a Vanguard. He can deal a good amount of damage, but he doesn't have any. He doesn't have any huge items yet, and he doesn't have a whole lot of gold either. So he's not farming too well. I mean, Tidehunter doesn't have much. Darkseer just got a Soul Ring. Looks like he's building a Vanguard, or perhaps he's going for his Hood. So you guys are powerful right now, but you aren't actually using that power too well. Except you're gonna get Sneaky Mouse over here. Should be one more. To my part, there we go.
Yep, there we go.
So you do have the team fight advantage, but you need to use it, and you did that there, but you need to like follow it up with something like like towers and things like that. Like you have this middle tower still standing, you definitely need that one, and probably need most of the tier 2s quite soon. And you can see some pro lineups. I mean, sometimes they'll use Sand King as their farmer, very occasionally, or Windrunner as their farmer, because they're sort of like semi-carries-ish, and they can be very powerful. Their goal is to win early on without before the enemy team has power to farm. I mean, time to farm.
Yeah, so I think it's a map at this point where I just kind of don't really understand what I'm supposed to be doing at this point in the game, because I don't know if I should just be kind of farming the lanes or what. It just kind of seemed like everybody, I don't know, we didn't really have any direction as far as I could tell, or I don't know if it's just me or what.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like you guys have a idea in mind about what you're going to be doing. You definitely shouldn't be farming. The Bane there aren't really a whole lot of items that are going to be that useful on Bane. You just sort of farm like when you can, like when there's some creeps around. But what you guys should be doing is 5-manning, because that's where your power comes through. Especially now that Tidehunter used the Ravage. Use it in the top lane. And that's the kind of things to watch for, like if you have the wall up, if you have things like that. So you should be able to get this kill on Darkseer. He's going to try to run himself away. And you got a Purge. That should be the end of him. So you're doing good. As you can see, you're winning the fights. It's just that if you guys were 5-man, you would be able to just march down lanes and take team fights and take towers.
Alright, so if anything, we really, I guess, should be playing more aggressive.
It's hard to coordinate because everyone needs to understand their hero and the heroes they are working with. That's why Dota is difficult. But you kind of just sort of look. I mean, are you familiar with all of these heroes that are on the map?
So I'm familiar with. I mean, Spectre. I guess I've never played Spectre before, and I've never played Master. But for the most part, I've at least tried on the guys once, and I think this is like my second or third time with Bane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, to get everyone to know, exactly what they should be doing. Everyone kind of needs to have an idea of everyone else on the map, so that everyone would understand. Like, I need to build my hero in such a way that we can take team fights at the 15-minute mark, kind of thing.
And I guess that's kind of why I wanted to take a look at this cast, is because I normally play support pretty much 99% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that's the one I'm the most competent in. So I feel like, if I want to help out the team, that's what I should be doing. And so to do, like, I guess this ganker role playing mid was, very different for me.
Yeah. Alright, so a little bit of, there we go, you're going to get him anyway. Probably didn't need to use your ultimate there. It was good that you got Viper, but he was pretty much dead anyway. But this is good, you're 5-man now. Should be able to take this down. And you do eat a wall right here. Yeah, the wall is really good at stopping pushes. Ravage catches what? Not much, I don't think.
It's pretty crazy.
He's got. How does he have 2 down? Does he have Medallion? Yeah, there's Medallion up on Uno. Yeah, ooh, that was a nice kinetic field, but I think Uno's still gonna die here. No? The slow. Oh man, the slow from his units. You're not gonna be able. They're not gonna be able to get him. Nope. Oh, good. You saved him. Yeah, I mean you're making the right decisions and everything like that. It's going all right, but the major problem is just it's kind of too late.
Yeah, I think for the entire game we might get one more tower and then they just dominate us.
Yeah, you see the thing with the tri-lane is your heroes that needed to get experience didn't get it, like Sand King. I mean, he's level 9 right now. You were level 9 like 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
So the tri-lane, what you need to have happen is if you're not getting kills by 5 minutes in, the tri-lane needs to break up. Because you're just sort of losing out on experience, and the composition of a tri-lane is typically one carry and 2 supports, and the supports sort of stay out of the way while the carry farms, and they just sort of try to, in an offensive tri-lane, they try to kill each other. There are a couple things you can do with one, but when you're tri-lane, I mean, it's just sort of like a kill fest. But it didn't work out too hot, and the heroes that needed to get levels weren't able to get them. We are catching people out. Spectre still doesn't have any... Oh, she has... Let's see, she has 3,000 gold, so she's trying to go for the Radiance. Radiance Spectre is extremely difficult to push against. So, do you know what Radiance does?
Doesn't it add like burn damage to each attack or something along those lines?
Sort of. It adds... I don't know how much damage it is. Let me look it up for a second. It deals 45 burn damage and adds 60 plus damage. So the burn damage is over time and in a radius of 650 constantly.
Oh, I didn't realize it had radius on it.
How do I get rid of my... Alright, anyways. So the thing about Radiance is, take a guess as to which ability that Radiance couples with on Spectre.
On Spectre? I would imagine... Let's see here. Pure damage... Oh, it would be her ulti.
Right.
Yeah.
So that means that's 45 damage per second multiplied by 5 for anywhere 6-7 seconds. So that's a considerable amount of damage in a team fight, just coming out from Spectre.
But is that, like, I guess, each illusion? I mean, I would think only one illusion would get that. You know, one illusion at a time, I guess, would get that bonus.
No, they all... Oh, I think... yeah, I don't think it's... does it stack? No, it doesn't stack. But it makes it just so that everyone takes the damage. It's the radius is large enough, plus her regular damage. The thing is that it gives 60 plus damage as well.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone else starts taking damage. So I guess I said that wrong. Yeah, I definitely said that wrong. It's the AoE coupled with the 60 plus damage multiplied by 5. Plus any of her other stats. So that's why she's really difficult, especially, and also the fact that she's global, so she can come around from anywhere and keep farming.
Yeah, I think she has she surprises us here, and it goes very poorly.
You guys are grouped up. And you're probably going to eat a wall and a ravage. They don't have a blink dagger up on him though. They do have a smoke. Well, actually, you got it, so they're a little late on this one if they're going to engage here.
Maybe we go for Rodan again later in the game, but I know there's one time we're all coupled up like that, and it hurts.
Yeah. So the thing you want to balance when you're making it, the reason that they have the reason I'm guessing is that they are able to win this one is that they have a more rounded out team. They have a late game carry, they have a mid game carry, and they have essentially 3 supports. But I mean, Darkseer is just sort of like an all around powerful hero. It's hard to say he's a support.
Yeah.
He's not really support. He's just good. Like I don't know where Darkseer because he's not really a ganker. He doesn't have like huge burst damage. He's just powerful. But what you guys have is you have 5 gankers. So you're kind of like single focused. And I think everyone's building sort of, yeah. I think everyone's building for gank. No one's getting things like a Radiance is a big item. Not on anyone here, but for the other team. No one's building like a, can't really think of the ones on the top of my head. No one's like a Manta style holder. Yeah, Viper, he's going to get caught out. Catching out people is good, although you're chasing here. Chasing into a Ravage. Darkseer isn't here, so he's not going to be able to get that. They do... Oh, saved Beastmaster. Kinetic Field misses. Epicenter misses, and now you guys have to back off.
Oh yeah, that wall hurt so for sure.
Well, really the thing was the missed Epicenter and the missed Kinetic Field. But you still get kills. And you run through the wall again.
Yeah, not the best decision.
And then alright. It's sort of a confusing team fight. Let's see, Sand King is going to get that. He's going to be able to get away. Yeah. I mean, you can build Sand King into a tank, although Blink Dagger just takes up a lot of time building. But the reason it's easier for them to win the game, essentially with less assuming you have the same amount of coordination, like everyone's on the same level of skill, their team is just going to sort of naturally end up being more powerful than you guys are.
Yeah, I believe it. The Viper and Spectre really help.
I mean, even if they built no even if they didn't build optimal items or anything like that, just their heroes, their levels, and their abilities are going to scale better than what you guys have. So it's not a bad... I wouldn't say it's like a bad lineup. It's just that it needed a lot of coordination to be able to... A lot of coordination and understanding of like what's happening in order for it to work out. So that's the challenge of what you guys were trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah, and the thing, so you built a plate. What were you building with plate mail? Shiva's Guard?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think on, I mean, I don't really know Bane's build. He's usually built with like a mech, like sort of like support type things. Definitely a Force Staff is in there. I don't play him too much, so I don't really know what build is good on him. But not really items that are going to... like I think what might have been better would have been a Scythe of Vice, especially with a team with a big hard carry.
I feel like I looked at that, but isn't that significantly more expensive?
Yeah, but it's significantly more useful.
Okay, that's fair.
Because it essentially disables someone. I mean, that would give you 3 disables. Just for like 5 seconds, you've disabled 3 people, and now they got their Radiance, so now they're going to be pushing against you guys. So you can see he just takes a ton of damage. Yeah, the Shiva's Guard, it's really like it's sort of like a luxury item. It's not usually the one that you build first. It's kind of like, well, I have like 3,000 gold and I need to build something, and it's usually a carry that'll get it because of the extra armor that it provides. It has 15 armor, gives you an aura, a passive slow. It's just attack speed, and then it gives you that active blast damage.
Yeah, I think at this point I'm just feeling extremely squishy as well, because I feel once we do team fights moving forward, I don't know if they just focused me because I could disable them or what, but I just get taken down here immediately.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is about that's the thing about Bane is essentially you cannot solve that problem. Even if you were to try to tank up, I mean, you can tank up, but it would be a little bit going the route of armor. It's probably you probably just need more health, like get like an Aghanims. Aghanims actually provides you a good amount of health and a good
What
amount
does it
of
actually do for me? I didn't even look at it.
upgradable Aghanims. I think they turned it off. I think it just makes it longer, more damage kind of thing, lower cooldown. The general thing. I don't want to look it up right now.
That's fine.
But
it makes things better. That's why I need to.
you'll notice when you build Aghanim Scepter on heroes that they just get a lot more tanky, and that's because of the. Let me look it up. Yeah, it's going to give you plus 10 to all attributes, 200 health, and 150 mana. So that's a good amount of. That's pretty much all the tank you really need on Bane. It's just the. That's how the hero's played. He sets up his abilities, and he probably dies, unless you get like a brain sap or something like that.
Okay.
So the thing about Bane is positioning. Like if you're playing against the Bane and you have a disable, you wait for Bane to use his Fiend's Grip, because if he's good, he's not going to be able to be seen. He'll be like in the trees or in the backside, and then you try to disable him as soon as you see him cast Fiend's Grip on someone, so that he's used his ultimate, but it's been canceled because it's a channeled ultimate.
Yeah, I feel like his Fiend's Grip actually has a pretty good range on it.
It does. What is it? Does it tell me the range?
Actually, I don't think it does.
It gives me, well,
Not now.
I'm going to estimate that's about 600 range. Maybe a little further. Just looking at the, if you hover over it, it'll give you like the range finder circle.
Yep.
I would call that about 600, I think. So that's definitely a problem with Bane, but it's sort of the way of the hero. So trying to fix, you probably want to more disable, more damage output would be probably the better choice for building him.
Okay.
Also, I mean that is of course if no one else is building like a mech or things like that, or like you don't need wards or someone else has got wards, things like that. Let's see. They have Vector has a Radiance. She's got building something else. I'm not sure. The Blade of Alacrity? Scepter? Not sure. You have Viper. Viper here with his Manta Style. Manta Style is really strong on him because it, replicates him, makes him deal more damage. Makes it a little harder to kill him, just by a bit. Because you have to figure out which one's the real one and then kill him. See, Tidehunter's not near his blink, really. Darkseer has a hood, and Perseverance as well. What would he be building with a Perseverance? I'm not sure. Refresher? No. Really? Maybe. So you guys still kind of have an advantage. You guys still can take these team fights. It's just that they have to be coordinated in such a way that you don't eat like eat a 5-man Ravage or something like that. And I don't think Rubric.
Problems here where it's coordination.
There's the one problem though is that, well, not the one problem, but Rubric really should be stealing some of these huge abilities that you guys have. I haven't really seen it, and I'm not sure I missed them or something like that. But he could be stealing. I mean, anything. You have Roar. You could steal Fiend's Grip. You could Disruptor. Probably not as useful, but Glimpse. You could steal. The Demonic Purge is possible, and the Epicenter is also another one he could steal. So that's something you do have to watch out for, but I really don't think he's been capitalizing on it. It's hard to do, certainly. Yeah, I think. I mean, essentially, you've been doing the right thing in team fights. You've been doing basically what you can do. Um, it's mostly what the coordination of the team. Here's a Necro book. Is it level 3? It is level 3. Sand King right here should probably come out of that sandstorm. I'm not sure why he's sitting there.
I want to say for the other players, that was his first time playing Sand King,
Ah.
and Llama on Disruptor is the first time she's Disruptor as well.
I see. Okay, well that would explain it. The 3-man Ravage coming in. Yeah. And then
So
the
like
wall.
right there, I think that was pretty much all my fault because I know that I slept him when it was pretty much completely unnecessary.
The real thing was the Ravage and the wall. There was nothing you could do about that.
Okay.
If you were able to, let's see, if you could have Nightmared Darkseer and slept Tidehunter before he cast Ravage, which is, like, I don't know how you would have done that because Ravage has a huge AoE, way bigger than your Fiend's Grip. Yeah, there's no way you were going to be able to disable Tidehunter, and that was the start of it. You could have tried to get Darkseer, but the stun that came out from the Ravage, coupled with the damage that Viper dealt in that short amount of time, was really the thing again, caught up in my words. That's really what ended the fight. And then the wall just sort of sealed the deal.
Finally, held the coffin.
Yeah, that's the difficult part about trying to break into the high ground, is that they have vision of you don't have vision of them. And if you just kind of like sit around, they have just a huge advantage. So the more you sit there kind of running around, the longer they have to pick an initiation. And not to say that you should just dive in, you do have to wait for it, the right thing, but that's why it's extremely hard to break the high ground. That's why probably that position is one of the most dangerous ones in the game. So let's see, it looks like Spectre is going for a Manta style. I don't think he'd be building Sound Jinyasa, so just looking to replicate the Radiance as much as possible.
So I believe we're going to do Roshir, and then they come and trounce us again. It's just all them.
Yeah, Ravage is up at this point. You really don't have much time in between Ravages. It's only 150 seconds. There it is. So Ravage is going to catch 5 heroes, and then Roar coming out from Rubik. Epicenter is a little off. But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot. A 5-man Ravage into wall. You really can't win a fight from that. So the thing about why their team is a lot more powerful at this point is because they have the Tidehunter Ravage, and then while you're all stunned, I mean, I don't know where Spectre is. Should have ulted in there. But Viper's just been on target right now. Looks like he's getting a BKB. BKB is another item that you can potentially put on Bane to make sure that he doesn't get disabled, when he's casting his Fiend's Grip.
Gotcha.
So same with like Enigma, you pop off the BKB, and then you use your ultimate, so they can't disable.
Okay, so similar strategy to like Enigma and Black Holes.
Yeah, you'd have to get something. You'd have to hit him with an ability that goes through BKB. But really, at this point, it's not really up to you to. The team fights really aren't up to you. Let's see, Uno.
Yeah, I think. I was just gonna say, I think moving forward, there's really not much else happens. I think they just kind of dominate us in team fights, and then they slowly win the game.
All right. So is that? Do you have any other questions about the hero, about the game, about like sort of decision making?
Well, so, I mean, once again, I guess Bane is a ganker, and I know a lot more after, playing this game. I guess I learned a lot about him.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess one of the decisions was, really when should I be going to gank? I know, like, generally you want to get your level, your ulti first, but I guess I just felt like, once again, I just didn't know really what to do or when to do things, and that was, I guess, felt just kind of generally useless at a certain point in the game. It sounds like that's kind of normal.
No, I mean, you want to start ganking definitely at level 6. As soon as you get level 6 with Bane, just start going and ganking and screwing up the other team. In your lane, Viper just was going to be able to win that one, so he's kind of like, all right, I'll just go kill someone else, not Viper. So yeah, level 6 is when you want to go start ganking with Bane. You don't want to do it at like level 3 or 4. I mean, you can, definitely not level 3. Perhaps level 5 you might be able to do it if you're coupling yourself with someone else who's got a good stun. But your power in ganking is going to come with the Fiend's Grip. And so you should have that. If you're mid lane, that means you should have that by like a couple minutes into the game, like 6 or 7 minutes into the game, I think. I can't remember. So as soon as that comes up, you want to start ganking. And then after the laning phase, it's really just about sticking with, probably with another roaming support and making sure that if you guys have decided you're going to be ganking, just stick with people and continue to gank. Because Bane, as I said, he's a single target hero. He's not really, he's alright in team fight. Like, he's not really going to excel in 5-on-5 team fights. And here you get caught out a little bit. Yeah, you have Rubik finally saw a roar, eats you. Another 4-man Ravage.
Yeah, like I said, it's pretty much all downhill from here. Because I feel like we had a pretty good handle on the game. But I guess we just kind of let it go a little bit too late.
Yeah, you had there wasn't enough pressure about 20 minutes into the game. Because you guys, there was definitely from 20 minutes until from 20 minutes up until about 35 or so, you guys had the upper hand in terms of maybe not 5-on-5 team fights just because of Ravage and Viper, but like Spectre was just sitting around farming, not doing a whole lot, and you could have probably what you wanted to try to do and what your lineup allowed you to do was picking people off, which you did a little bit. And actually, you did quite often, but not enough to keep down the entirety of the team. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like I said, she's still playing support, which obviously not terribly aggressive position.
Yeah, it took me a little while to learn how to be aggressive, but if you what you want to do, if you want to learn how to be aggressive and learn how to gank, is look up Ferrari's Night Stalker. Look up games with, he's on IG. Right? Yes. Because Super is LGD. No? Super is DK. He's on IG. Look up his Night Stalker, and you'll sort of see, like, he's just everywhere. All the like the first night, he's just everywhere. If he's had a good game. If he's not doing so well, it's not great. But you just sort of he's everywhere. He's ganking. He doesn't stop. It's like having a Pudge. You just don't know where he is, and as soon as he shows up, he's gonna kill someone. So that's how you play aggressive. And obviously, I mean, he's one of the best players. So you can't take everything and do exactly what he does, but you can definitely learn from how he decides to go about his aggression.
Okay, I can definitely take a look at those. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, it's just kind of a new thing for me, so I was just hoping to get some feedback. It sounds like I wasn't terribly off.
No, I mean, you weren't doing it. You're doing a pretty good job of being aggressive, but it needed to be a lot more. Like you have if one of your heroes was, if you switched out Disruptor for like a harder carry, and you had and Sand King was able to farm a bit more, your amount of ganking would have been pretty okay for the level of game that you're playing. But with the lineup that you had, it needed to be like tons and tons of ganking.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's not so much about your individual play. It's about sort of learning about each hero and why and what you need to do against them. And it takes a long time to learn. But yeah, figuring out like which heroes are going to couple with what and what your goals should be.
So, I mean, are there any, I guess, characters that would be, when I'm playing like some, pub matches or something like that, that couple well with? If I see them picked, maybe I should pick Bane and practice a bit or something like that?
I mean, I could sit here and list a bunch of them, but I don't think that would help you. I think what you should just do is go onto the Dota 2 wiki and just start reading abilities and reading the hero and sort of being like, okay, well, this ability does X, so if I had this other ability that does Y, they would go well together. You know what I mean?
Fair enough, yeah.
I guess I could give one example is that they have is the Vacuum plus Ravage, which they didn't use, but Vacuum pulls heroes into one point, and then Ravage is used to disable a bunch of people. Although since Ravage is such a big radius, it's not as necessary. But if you have something like Black Hole and Vacuum, those couple really well together. Vacuum and Jakiro's Ice Path. Like, Vacuum sort of couples with everything. That's why Darkseer
in general is just great, yeah.
Yeah. I'd really suggest going and just reading abilities and kind of thinking about them yourself, and then, sort of watch, higher skilled or pro matches and be like, oh, that's what they did. That's kind of neat. And sort of going from there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I learned a lot from playing the characters.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not always great because if we're in this scenario where, three of us kind of have new characters, it doesn't help the game.
Yeah, I mean, you're not doing badly. I mean, three of them are dead, and five of you are alive. So I mean, it's not like you guys are doing badly. I'm just saying, King's like, I'll just sit here, guys.
He was just sitting there like, how long I can just sit in this dust.
Nothing can happen. No, that's the thing about Sandstorm, is that if you get disabled with any sort of AOE disable, it takes you right out of it. Or if you have any kind of reveal. So if you see a Sand King like that, you can use, Tidehunter used Ravage, but you could use an Ice Path or a Split Earth from the Shrek, and that'll take him right out of it and kind of screw him over.
Yeah, so I can't really think of any more questions or anything that I had about this game in particular.
All right, so actually, I mean, you did play well. No, my dog is barking.
Yep.
He may continue to bark. I think.
Sorry, I have a dog. I know how it goes.
Yeah, someone's at the door, so right there. Now we stop. But anyways, you did play well. It just comes down to like knowledge of need a little more knowledge of the game and things like that. So that's what you can probably work on.
All right, so just practice.
Yeah, practice and really reading. The best thing I did for my game was just reading abilities of all the heroes. And it may be boring, but it helps you a ton. The abilities and the items. Read all the items too. All right. I think we're gonna stop this, and I'm gonna go stop my dog from barking.
Sounds good.
But I'll catch you again we'll go over another one, alright?
Alright, that sounds great.
Alright.